Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Wednesday. Today, yes, I am certain that today is Wednesday. It is August 7th. I had so many comments in yesterday's video where, it was a long day and I was just wishful thinking that it was another next day in the week, I think. But I had many comments about my mix up on the days. So out of 15 minutes of video, that was their comment. But I appreciate your concern for my confusion. I think I appreciate it. Anyway, I know today is Wednesday. All right. Yes, the world is still jacked up, but I have a message particularly for the United States. And it is about a specific prep that we need to shore up right now. ASAP, okay? Because if we look at what's going on, especially Europe, especially right now in the UK, England, oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh man, okay. Also, I have a good passage I'm going to share with you towards the end of the video that will greatly, not just encourage you, but will greatly encourage you, I promise. So stay tuned. I was watching on a break earlier, I was watching some video from England of the protesters facing off with police. And again, in case you've been under a rock, there are massive protests, riots, a lot of violence, from the people, the folks, about this, and it's mostly geared right at the out of control illegal immigration. And they've awakened and realized they're losing their country, literally losing their country. So they're facing off with police, and a big group of them, I think this particular one I was watching earlier was in Bristol, and they were chanting, "We want our country back. We want our country back." And it's almost heartbreaking to watch it. I watched it for several minutes at least, and they're so mad, and they're sincerely mad. I mean, this is not, unlike some protests you've seen in recent years, they know exactly what they are protesting about. They're very specific. They're very educated on it, okay? And it made me think. I have sympathy for that. I mean, anybody with common sense who looks at this objectively realizes that they are losing their country, okay? And I'm not saying that every person that comes across the border is bad. Not at all. Immigration is great. We need that, but it needs to be the proper way, in a common sense fashion that will at least preserve your culture and law and order, and somewhat law and order and safety, to where your family can walk down the street and not fear for their life. Hello? So anyway, it made me think about that. It made me think about here in the United States. What is coming? We know this is not just an effort that's going on in Europe. This is global. This is very much also Western civilization. Okay. We can see that. You got to be able to see that. So it's coming here. And the only thing standing in the way, y'all, the only thing standing in the way right now, at least so far, between what we have now, which I guess you can call, I don't know, relative law and order. It's very relative. You can even go so far as to say there are parts that are without rule of law. But the only thing that's keeping us somewhat secure is the Second Amendment, 2A. All right? We can never, ever allow that. We cannot allow it to be lost. Not on our watch. Now, the next generation or two, it's going to be up to them. Future generations, I don't know. They're going to have to decide if they can do that or not. I'm not greatly optimistic on that. But at least on our watch, we cannot let that disappear at all costs. At all costs. I mean, that's it. That's it. If you don't have 2A, the jig is up, my friend. It is up. It is done. All right? I'll come back to this in a second. In the UK and England, I saw this come out. Authorities in the UK are arresting and charging citizens who are making posts on social media that disagree with the government narrative, the media narrative. For instance, if you retweet any material deemed as inciting hatred, as in anti-Muslim or anti-terror, anti-illegal immigration, you have a grievance against the government about their immigration policy that they deem as hatred, you can be arrested. People are being arrested. They can receive jail sentences 5 to 10 years, y'all, for social media posts. For making a post on Facebook, some people have been arrested, y'all. For making a Facebook post. Just arrested. No warning, no, a ticket, a fine, jail. This is in the UK. We need to pay close attention to this. We want to talk about a dangerous road. Yet, the animals that use knives, swords, machetes, they're protected. From all that I can gather now, tell me if I'm wrong, please. But when you speak out against somebody using the other group that is using machetes against citizens and kids, for God's sake, against kids, the authorities are like, oh no, that's not terrorism. No. What? This is beyond Twilight Zone stuff, y'all. It's way beyond that. This is some other kind of thing. This is beyond China. I don't know. Is this worse than China, what they do? I don't know. Russia? So if you protest and cheer on a protester, rioter, you run a big risk of being arrested. Absolutely coming to the United States, we know this. And the next thought that I have is, first thought is this coming here. Kind of already, it really is. Already is. My next thought is November, if it even happens. If the camel comes in there, y'all, if the camel gets in, God help us. God help us. All right. And I don't say that to be hyperbole or anything like that. I truly mean that. Because if you don't think that group, if they get in there, will try the same thing, here, got another thing coming. And then my third thought, again, was, well, the original thought is 2A, we have to preserve that. You got to have that. It's the only thing making them pause from going full tilt right now, like today, or in the past, or this past few years. It's the only thing. I'm convinced of that. Now, I don't care what anybody says about, oh, well, dog, it don't matter if you're that and you're that. They have better weapons and they got F-16s and all that. And I don't care what you got to say about that. Tell that to the freedom fighters over in the Middle East that were running around on the back of Toyota trucks that gave the United States military all they wanted, and a lot of times. Operating out of freaking Toyota trucks, all right? And a shoestring budget, if that. So don't tell me none of that stuff that it can't be done. All right. What would you do without freedom? What would you do? There are some red lines. There are some lines in the sand. I know there are for me. That's one of them. Brothers and sisters. That is one of them. If you don't have that, if you don't have 2A, you're done. You're maybe not done today or tomorrow, but it's coming. What's to stop it? What's to stop it? Oh, I got a good sheriff. I don't know about that anymore. I don't know. Can't guarantee that. That helps. Your local government, your local help. I mean, that's huge, yes. What would you do? What would you do without freedom? I'm not going to ask the next question. You know what it is. We have to start thinking about how we're going to do what we're going to do, because we know what's coming. We know. In November too. We know what's going to happen. We know that's going to happen. We know how that's going to play out, most likely. So how do we prepare for that? I think the number one prep is spiritual, of course. I think self-defense has got to be huge as well, y'all. If you don't have a tool, you know what tool I'm talking about. If you don't have a tool, please consider getting one. But also, if you do that, learn how to use it, practice it, learn how to, let's say keep it full of the things that it needs, and you have plenty of that too. Now's a pretty good time to go ahead and do that. Really good time to do that right now. Typically close to elections, especially in modern times here, the prices on those tools tend to go way up. So now is probably a pretty good time to get more of that. More of that. You know what I'm talking about. Practice. I'm included right in that, because I need to do more of that. I really do. If you've not used one in a long time, you need to practice. Even if you have used one in a while, recently, keep practicing. I just have a feeling. I just have a bad feeling on that. I really do. 2A is huge. We cannot let that go into the night, because if we have a change, if we don't have a change, basically, well, we're gonna have a change in November. But if it's not the change we want, we know the number one target. We know what they're coming after. So, all right. That's my main message. A lot of eyes are still on Iran and Israel. I saw where Iran asked that airlines avoid flying in its airspace due to military exercises today and tomorrow. Hey, no problem, bro. Didn't plan on flying through your airspace, especially right about now. Right in current times, right? With current events going on. Not wanting to be in your airspace right now, man. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. But we'll keep our eyes on the Middle East as well. But things are heating up, still heating up, still going crazy in Russia-Ukraine conflict as well. I saw where supposedly Ukraine made a little invasion into part of Russian territory. Okay, so that has no signs of stopping. There's so many little hotspots, not really little hotspots, large hotspots in the world that we're on a tinderbox. Let's pay attention to what's going on. Keep preparing. You're home. Even when you're out of the home, what do you have with you? Especially your awareness. But have a tool with you. I'm convinced now we need it. We're going to be needing it more than ever, y'all. I'm going to go to a passage. I don't think I even got to all my notes because I got all fired up there, y'all. I got all fired up. But I'm pretty passionate about that, as you can tell. I'm in the book. What am I in the book of? I'm going New Testament on you today in the book of Luke. Luke chapter 17. Y'all know I can't just read one verse. All right. Luke chapter 17, from the words of Jesus, talking to his disciples. It is inevitable that stumbling blocks should come, but woe to him through whom they come. Through whom they come. It would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he were thrown into the sea than he should cause one of these little ones to stumble. Be on your guard. Be on your guard. If your brother sins, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. And if he sins against you 7 times a day and returns you 7 times saying, I'm forgiven, forgive him. And the apostle said to the Lord, increase our faith. Increase our faith. And the Lord said, if you had faith like a mustard seed, you would say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and be planted in the sea, and it would obey you. How powerful is that? If you had the faith like a mustard seed, y'all. You know how big a mustard seed is? Not very big. If I had it in my fingers right now, you'd barely see it. But it can grow. And it's okay if it's small like that. If your faith goes small like that, or if it's small now, or sometimes it wavers and it's up and down. That's okay. He understands that. We are human, by the way. But don't let that stress you. We just need to keep in the faith, keep in the Word, keep praying, keep reading the Bible, and stand close in that relationship with Jesus. That is the key. That makes the faith just grow. And when they come after us, this world comes after us. I don't know about y'all, but it makes my faith grow even more when they do that. Because it is written that it will happen. And now it's happening. So anyway, let's be aware out there. Let's be watchful. Let's pay attention. Be safe. Stay close to Jesus. And God bless you. I'll see you soon.